Hello fans and friends of Gtf O. I just wanted to take a minute, given the context of this episode, to stop and let you guys know a little something before Mike gets here. See, I've known Mike a long time, since high school, and unfortunately he suffers from an affliction. Now, this illness, it doesn't make him any less of a man, but it definitely can make him seem unpleasant and indeed shameful compared to the rest of the geek community. And he'll never quite be the nerd that he can be. Please, as we film this episode, and as you're watching it, just keep in mind that Mike and others like him, they're sick and they need our help. They deserve our pity, not our scorn.
Hey, so, can we get this nostalgic fanboy bullshit over with, or what?
Oh, it's really bad today.
Look, man, you know I don't really care for Star Wars.
Should I fetch you your happy pills?
We're geeking out over Star Wars, The Old Republic.
Hey, welcome back to Gtf O, everybody. I'm your host, Calvin.
And I'm Hobbs.
And today we're going to be talking about the massively multiplayer online game, Star Wars: The Old Republic. It's released by developer BioWare, who's famous for their single-player offerings, and so this is their first foray into the massively multiplayer genre.
And now we play a clip.
Footage!
Honor.
Vengeance. Justice.
Power. The time for war has come. Choose your side. Join the battle. Star Wars.
Oh, that was hella juicy. And I think it's a, pretty solid foray.
It's a fun game. I'm having a good time with it. I'll say, I will say that for a game that doesn't innovate whatsoever, I mean, like, this game has the ideas from World of Warcraft in 2006 with the same, slapped on top of the same BioWare conversation wheel that BioWare's been using since they existed. But that's not, it's not necessarily two great tastes that taste bad together. It's a fun game. It's not an innovative game, but I'm enjoying it. It makes you feel really immersed in the Star Wars setting. And even for someone who doesn't really care for the Star Wars setting, I find that novel and fun.
You shouldn't be thrown off by the idea that your character has personality, because what that really means is that when you roll a character, when his dialogue comes up, his or her dialogue, you'll basically have to pick between one of three options, and whichever one you pick, that's what you're like.
Really good, snarky but good, really evil.
Now, if you happen to, want to play one of those three archetypes, then the game will definitely support you and reward you for playing that, and you'll find it a very compelling experience. For example, my Sith Warrior is about as hideously, irredeemably evil as I've always wanted.
But if you want to play like the Byronic and tragic Sith Warrior who, believes in goodness and light, but using the dark side to do that and being tortured, that's not there. You'd basically just be playing a paladin in black colors.
Yeah. I think an unfair criticism that's been leveled at the game is that there's not a sufficient amount to do at the end game. I think there's a decent amount. The problem is World of Warcraft kind of spoiled the punch there, because their end game is so massive and so involved. People don't realize, or perhaps forget, that they've had 7 years to get to that state. You can't expect all morphs to simply come out the box with that kind of content.
There are games that produce a lot of content really quickly, Rift for example, but that doesn't necessarily mean that all games should be held to the same rubric. The bottom line is, when Warcraft came out, it had less endgame content.
The core gameplay, though, is absolutely solid. I have a lot of fun. There is some issues. I tend to shy away from when a game is not responding. When I click something, I want feedback. I want to hear it.
Crunchy controls.
Yeah, I want to hear it. I want to see it being done. I like it to respond.
I don't like that. When I press a button, I wait for the animation to complete and then I do damage. The animation is actually completely superfluous to my damage. I don't like having to plan around that.
But, you know, that said, I still think this is a great game, and I think that it's definitely a solid step in the right direction. I would like to see more characterization and more in-depth storyline.
More immersion.
Yeah.
More immersion. It does immersion well. I'm going to give it that. And, you know, I feel that if you want a good old-fashioned generic space opera Star Wars-y time, it's the game for you. Is it the best MMO on the market? I don't think it is. Does it have the creature comforts that a modern MMO should have? Like looking for group, multiple character specs, and macro support? No, it doesn't, and that's kind of shameful. The looking for group thing especially, look, guys, I know you want to build community. But we really just want to be able to run dungeons when we want to run them. That said, it's a fun game. It's worth playing.
And on that note, I think it's time for an awkward transition.
It's time for an awkward transition.
Yeehaw! Man.
Hey!
So, what do we think about rating this thing?
Okay, so, Gtf O officially rates Star Wars The Old Republic. Boba Fett is still not an interesting character. And neither is Darth Maul.
Yeah, okay, I'll give you that one.
Right?
Yeah. Alright, everybody, that's going to do it for this time. We're out of here. You can go ahead and check out Star Wars on your nearest PC, providing you have halfway decent specs. Other than that, there's probably a ton of gameplay videos on YouTube or what have you, so, you know, knock yourself out. Whatever works. We're out of here, and that F could stand for anything. Alright, welcome back to Gtf O, everybody. I'm your host, Concrete Bad Verde. Do it again. Why are you not going to the club all the time? The women and the dancing and the ecstasy, the neon bracelets.
Sometimes, you want to do a show, right? You're like, hey man, I want to do a show about some geek shit, man. Well, like, you can't, right? Because no one fucking watches the show. No one watches the show, and you're like, come on man, I want to be on the show. I just want to be famous on the interwebs.
Can you even feel the left side of your face right now?
I didn't even know I had one.
I was born in a crossfire hurricane.
And yeah, Mick Jagger.
This just did. Kirk Thunder wants to talk about his wife's ass.
In fairness, we'd like to talk about his wife's ass.
Neon shirt from TNC Surf. I was a Raiders fan till Bo Jackson got